Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on C programming language. We are in our lecture number 62. In this lecture, let us learn about how structures can be nested. So we will be learning about structures within structures. So structure within structure is nothing but nested structure. So what we are going to do is, we already learned about what actually structure is and how a structure can be connected with arrays and how structure can be connected with functions and how structures can be connected with pointers. All these things we already learned. Just as a revision, I will take you to the definition of the structure. We already know structure is nothing but collection of heterogeneous data type elements. So if you want to have a collection of more than one data values and all the data values, if they are of belonging to different data types, then we can go with the structure. If you want to know about the introduction to the structure, you can refer from this link. So let us come back here. Nested structures is nothing but if you want to have one structure within another structure, that means we'll be having structure A, and that structure A variable can be created in structure B, that is structure. Now how that can be done, what is the necessity of doing that one, I'll tell you in detail. So the members of one structure can be there in the another structure. Now what is the use of creating nested structures and all? We'll see with a simple example. Now let us say you have an employee structure, and in the employee structure you have 5 elements. Now what is the first element? Name, ID, branch code, salary and city where the employees stay. Similarly, let us take one more structure, that is student. For this structure, student also will be having name, ID, branch code and marks. Now if you observe in these two, you will be having 5 variables here and you will be having 4 variables here. In total, if you want to have a project where you want to read the employee details and student details, then then while declaring this one, you need to design like what are all the elements available in the employer's 5 variables, and here you have 4 not variables, 5 elements, and here 4 elements, and in total we have 9 elements. Now if you observe carefully here, the 3 elements whatever we have in employee and the 3 elements whatever we have in student, that is common. Like the name, we are asking the employee name, ID and branch code. Similarly here also a student name, ID and branch code. So instead of repeating the same names here, even if you follow the same traditional approach, there is no problem. But to reduce our work, like declaring these many number of repeated variables again, what can we do is observe carefully here. There is a similarity in these two, like I asking the name, ID and branch code for employee and asking the name, ID and branch code. So to do this, it is simple. What can we do is these 3 elements or members, whatever we have, can be kept in one structure which is called as the details, and in the details we will have a name, ID and branch code. And now we can have our employee structure which can be modified like this, where the of this struct details can be created here, where we have created one variable called E, and now E will be having a value of name, E will be having a value of ID, and E will be having a branch code. Okay, similarly we can create a struct student where the variable of this details copy has been created here, where this S will be having a copy of name, ID and branch code. So if you observe here, the variable of this structure has been created in another structure. Along with this variable, we have the other 2 elements, whatever we have in the employee, that can be added here. Similarly in structure, in student also, we have added the other member element what we want here, that has been added. Now if you observe this complete program, whatever struct details has been designed here, that has its variable has been created in the another structure. Here it is called a variable creation. And here also in this struct student, this variable of this struct details has been created, and the variable name here is yes. Now what is the necessity of designing like this? Instead of repeating the same variable names here and here, we have only created once, and that has been inherited into these 2 structures. So a structure variable is designed into another structure which is defined as a nested structure. Now, if this is the case, how to access the variables? See here, if you are designing the old tradition of not using the nested structure, so for this employee, you need to create one variable that is called employee. One variable is even. Then you will be accessing like even dot name, even dot id, even dot branch code, even dot salary, and even dot city. Similarly, for student, you need to create one variable S1, then you will be writing S1 dot name, S1 dot ID, S1 dot branch code, and S1 dot marks. But here, the complete structure has been changed here. We have merged these two as one thing, one structure, and we have inherited that one into our structure. So one structure variable we have designed it, we have kept into another structure. Now what we can do, now how the values can be initialized. So you can observe here two variables has been created. Now how can we assign the values now? See, this is the format what we have. Now, to assign the values, that is consider even is our first employee, and to this employee, you need to assign the name, ID, and branch code, salary, and city. Then how can you do that one? So, to read the employee details, first one is we have our name even dot. You need to use e. That means observe here. Whenever you are writing e, this e will be pointing to three more values here. So what you need to do? You need to use e1 dot e dot name to read the name. Similarly, to read the id, you need to use e1 dot e dot id. So if you want to read the branch code, then e1 dot e dot branch code. Got it, all of you? So this e will be pointing to three more values. That's why we need to write like this. 2 times dot operator need to be accessed. Now to access the salary, it is very simple. The same old tradition. E1 dot salary directly it can be written. If you want to read the city, then E1 dot city. Very simple. These two are the normal way only. But if you are talking about a structure variable within another structure, you need to use the dot operator twice. Similarly, to read the student details, to read the name, let us consider the variable created is S1, then S1 dot S dot, because this S will be again pointing these three elements. So S1 dot S dot name, S1 dot S dot ID, S1 dot S dot branch code, and to get the marks, S1 dot marks. This is how we can read the values if one structure variable can be accessed into one structure variable is created into another structure. Observe here we have used two dot operators. Okay, so let us see one program behind that. How can we create this program? Okay, so what we need to do first? First we need to declare all the header files. Okay, and then okay, after that what we need to do? We need to create our structures. Let us consider how we can create the structures. Let us consider details is our main thing, and here we'll be writing cat name of Turkey we have declared. Okay, in ID we have written, and in just for my shortcut I have written branch code like this. Okay, now we need to create one more structure. What is that? Struct employee. Okay, and in that what we are doing, we are writing struct details of employee. We are creating one variable, and along with that I want to add in salary also. Okay, and also I want to add in the city where the city, or else you can have character city also. It is up to you. Okay, just if you want in city, if you have given, then city code will be given. Now similarly we are creating struct student. Okay, and then in the student we will be having struct. Observe here, this struct details copy we need to write because name, ID, and branch code will be there for students. So details of yes, let us consider, and then we need to write, let us consider int marks. That's it. Only these things let us consider for the student. Now coming to our void main, in main function what I need to do, let me create one struct employee e1 is my first variable, and struct first employee and struct student, and I'm creating one student. Yes. Now, how can we assign the values? You all know how can we assign. First one is for E1, you want to assign the values. E1 dot, E1 dot E, you can consider here. E1 means this one, and E1 will be having E. E is nothing but again we are having these three values. So first one is your name, so which is a string handling function. You need to use string handling function strcpy, where you need to store e1 dot e dot name. What you need to store, let us consider is Joe. Okay, and then what is the next one? ID. So ID is again available by using this e only. So e1 dot e dot id equal to, let us consider 1 2 3 4. Okay, next e1 dot e dot, what is that? Branch code, right? So branch code, let us consider 12. Right? Now, what is the next thing for the student details that you want to assign? Then how can you assign this? And one more thing, I think the salary and city is also there. Let us initialize that. But how can you initialize? E1 dot salary. Let us consider it is of 50,000. Okay, 5,000. Let us consider 5,000. Next, E1 dot city. Let us consider here it is, we have declared as it. Let us consider city code is 355. Okay, just for your understanding, as an example I have given. Okay, 355 is the city code. Understood? So we have given all the employee details: name, ID, branch code, salary, and city. So total of how many values? 1, 2, and 3 more there. Okay. Now let us initialize the student details. Similarly, you can initialize the student details also. How can you initialize the student details? S1 dot S dot. We need to use string handling function strcpy, and S1 dot S dot name. Let us consider the name is Sita. Okay. Okay. Next, S1 dot S dot. What is the next one? ID. Let us consider the ID is 5678. Just for whatever random value I'm getting, I'm that. Next, S1 dot S dot branch code. Right. So branch code, let us consider 67. Okay, and then what we have one more, that is we need to ask the marks also, so that we can directly ask by writing S1 dot marks equal to, let us consider 78. So we have given all the marks. Now what we need to do, let us print the values. So printf, just write down employee details. Okay, and we need to add all the printf statements here. Again, we need to write, if you want to have, you can have 5 printf statements. First one is name, name, and then name is of percentage yes. And how can you print the name? The name can be printed by e1 dot e dot name. You need to follow 2 dot operators only, and then printf, okay, slash and id. ID is percentage d. It is stored in e1 dot, e1 dot e dot id. Isn't it or not? Similarly, printf inverted comma slash n. Here we need to give double quotes slash n. We need to give branch code, right? Branch code. What is that? It is also percentage d, and then it is also accessed by e1 dot e dot b underscore c. Is it that or not? We are using that. Okay, and then that is about employee details. And similarly, now we need to have what is that? Student details also. Let me copy this. Okay, if you see here, we need to simply modify this one to student details. I think I have not printed the salary and city. Let me add that also. Printer slash and salary. Okay, I'm adding again the employee details, whatever is missing there. Percentage D, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Just for modify this one to student details. Okay, if you see here, we need to simply modify this one to student details. I think I have not printed the salary and city. Let me add that also. Printer slash and salary. Okay, I'm adding again the employee details, whatever is missing there. Percentage D, we need to simply write E1 dot salary, right? And then printf inverted comma slash n, we need to write city also, city, and again city is a percentage d, and even I think here it is dot. Yeah. Okay, E1 dot city. We have added all the details, name, ID, branch code, salary, and city of the employee. Now coming to the student details, here we need to write S1 dot S dot name, and ID is S1 dot S dot ID, and the branch code is S1 dot S dot branch code. And finally we have one more. What is that? I think it is marks. So slash n marks. Okay, and it is given in so percentage d. So S1 dot directly you can give marks. Okay, so this is how you can check the program once again. Here in the main function we have employee E1 is created and student S1 is created. For employee we have given all the details from name. Here you need to observe two dot operators we have given because we have used the nested structures. So these are all the details that will run this program. Yeah, I think I need to use this. I have used the string handling function. I need to include that hash file. Okay, hash into string dot h, because we are using strc2 string handling function. No errors are there. Now to check the output, you can check here. Employee details are displayed and also student details are displayed. Got it, all of you? So this is how structure within structure, which is called as nested structure, can be accessed to read the to reduce the number of variables. If they are common, you can simply put that in the structure and the structure. Okay. So with this, we can come to an end of today's lecture. I hope you all are clear with this concept. That is all. Meet in our next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.